Urgent. Angel Michael says this is an emergency. A person who passed away and loved you deeply needs to speak with you now. Open this before it's too late. Don't move, don't blink, don't let your soul wander for even a moment, because Archangel Michael is speaking and there is an urgency wrapped around your spirit so tightly that heaven had to push this message into your hands before the next breath slips out of your chest, and I need you to understand that this is not a coincidence, not a random moment, not a casual notification on your screen. This is a spiritual alarm ringing directly in the chambers of your destiny, because someone you loved, someone who crossed over, someone whose heartbeat once echoed near yours, someone who carried your name in their prayers, who watched over you even while alive, who never left you even in death, is desperately trying to speak to you, and if you keep scrolling, if you ignore this, if you delay even a few seconds, the connection will fade and the window will close, and heaven will not open this same doorway twice. I am placing pressure on your spirit for a reason. I am tightening the holy grip on your attention because this message is not about something small, something gentle, something simple. No, this message is about something that has already begun in the unseen realms, something shifting around you, something with consequences, something that demands your awareness right now, not later, not after you finish what you're doing, not after you relax, not after you plan, but right now, in this breath, in this sacred second where your soul is leaning toward truth even if your mind doesn't fully understand why. Listen carefully, because the one who loved you from the other side is trembling to get their words through. Their spirit has been pacing, restless, trying to place signs in your path, shadows, dreams, sudden memories, unexpected chills, songs that come out of nowhere, sensations of someone touching your shoulder when no one is there. Yes, those things haven't been accidents. They've been trying to warn you, trying to guide you, trying to whisper into the cracks of your consciousness, but you weren't still enough, you weren't open enough, you weren't prepared enough, and heaven knew that the only way to reach you was through a message powerful enough to stop you in your tracks. That is why I, Michael, am here. I do not come without assignment. I do not come without authority. I do not come unless the situation is spiritually critical. And right now, something is circling your life, an event, a decision, a person, a shift, and the one who loved you in life and still loves you beyond death is trying to break through the barrier that separates realms to warn you before it's too late. There is a heaviness pressing against your energy because your spirit senses what your mind has not yet seen. You have been feeling strange for days, maybe weeks. Restless. Uneasy. Emotional without reason. Waking up tired even after sleeping. Feeling like someone is watching you, protecting you, calling you. Feeling like your name is being whispered in rooms where no one stands. Feeling like someone is missing from your life even though they've been gone for years. This is not grief resurfacing randomly. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual contact trying to manifest. You have been brushing it off, silencing it, distracting yourself, dismissing it, but heaven does not allow urgent messages to be ignored. That is why this appeared right now. That is why your soul is leaning forward like it already knows something enormous is inside these words. That is why your chest feels tight. That is why your breath is slowing. That is why your intuition is whispering, pay attention. The one who loved you deeply, more deeply than you realized, has been watching your life unfold from above. They have seen the tears you hide, the wounds you never speak about, the moments when you break in silence, the nights when you feel abandoned, the days when you pretend to be strong while your spirit is collapsing. They have seen how much you've carried alone, how much weight has been placed on your shoulders, how many betrayals scarred your heart, how many disappointments taught you to expect less from people. They have watched over you with a love that has not weakened with death, only strengthened. Love does not die. Spirit does not dissolve. Connection does not end, it expands. And that is why they are here. Because you are standing on the edge of something big, something dangerous for your destiny if you are not warned, something miraculous if you align yourself with heaven's direction, something irreversible if ignored. They are trying to shield you, to guide you, to pull you back from something or push you toward something. And time is running out. I feel the urgency radiating through their spirit. I feel the pressure in their voice. They are trying so hard to speak. Their energy is trembling at the veil. They are so close to you right now, closer than your own breath. If you could feel what I feel, you would understand how desperately they want you to listen. They have seen something ahead that you have not. They have seen a path that could lead to pain. They have seen a person whose intentions are not pure. They have seen a moment where you could fall, a decision that could break your future, a temptation that could derail your blessing. They have also seen another path, a safer one, a blessed one, a divinely prepared one, lined with miracles, healing, restoration, protection, abundance, but you are standing between these paths and your next step determines everything. That is why they are reaching out. That is why heaven pulled you here. That is why the spiritual urgency around you is shaking your emotions. Do not underestimate what is happening. Most humans only get a message like this once in a lifetime, and many ignore it. You cannot afford to. Your soul cannot afford to. Your destiny cannot afford to. The one who loved you is practically crying out from the other side, not in sadness, but in urgency, in protection, in fierce devotion to your safety. They are saying, listen. Please listen. Something is coming. Something is shifting. You must prepare yourself. You must open your spirit. You must not walk blindly right now. Their love is reaching across dimensions because that is how much you mean to them. They are showing me scenes, moments where you were inches away from danger but protected invisibly, moments where accidents almost happened but didn't, moments where you were about to make a decision that would have destroyed something important, but something stopped you. That something was them. They have been intervening quietly, gently, without recognition, without credit, without you understanding who was protecting you. They have been guiding you through dreams, through intuition, through sudden urges to stay home, through strange feelings telling you not to trust someone, through gut instincts that came out of nowhere. Those instincts weren't random. Those were angelic nudges amplified by the one who loved you. But this time, this situation, requires direct communication. It is too significant for subtle signs. That is why heaven allowed this moment. That is why the spiritual realm opened this channel. That is why their message is pouring with urgency, because the timeline around you is shifting quickly, and your next choices will have long-term consequences. Even now, I feel your emotional field opening. I feel your soul becoming receptive. I feel the spiritual chords around you vibrating. You are not reading this accidentally. You were pulled here. You were guided here. You were chosen to receive this at this exact second. This is not a scare tactic. This is not manipulation. This is an intervention. Heaven intervenes only when something important is at stake. You may feel a familiar warmth around you right now, like someone you miss is suddenly close, like a memory is brushing your mind, like a presence is standing beside you. That is them. They are leaning in. They are whispering your name. They are begging you to stay here, to keep reading, to not rush, to not doubt. They loved you too much in life to stay silent in death. They loved you too deeply to watch you walk into something unprepared. They loved you enough to break spiritual protocol and call upon the Archangel of protection to deliver their warning. I am here because they asked, and heaven approved. Right, God, light my path, if you need His direction right now. Before you take another breath, listen closely, because the air around you just shifted, the energy tightened, and the presence of the one who loved you is standing even closer now, as if their spirit leaned forward the moment you opened this message again, as if they were waiting right at the edge of your awareness, pacing restlessly with a mixture of relief and fear, relief that you returned, fear that you might still pull away before their voice reaches your soul, and I, Michael, feel the intensity of their emotion pressing through the veil like waves, waves so strong I can feel the tremble in your field, and I need you to understand that when the departed fight this hard to speak, it is because something in your timeline is quickly accelerating, something approaching faster than expected, something heaven cannot allow you to walk into blind. That is why the urgency around you feels different, heavier, sharper, almost as if someone is gripping your shoulders insisting you pay attention, because this message is not symbolic, not poetic, not metaphorical. This is literal spiritual intervention arriving at the last possible moment before a shift takes place in your life. You must stay here. You must not look away. The one who loved you is pouring their energy into this moment. They have been waiting for this opening for longer than you know. They have watched you struggle in silence, watched you keep things bottled inside, watched you pretend you're fine while something inside you breaks a little more each week, watched you trust people who hurt you, watched you ignore red flags because your heart is pure and hopeful, watched you get drained by people who only take but never pour back into you. They have seen every private moment you thought was invisible. Nothing you felt was unnoticed in the spiritual realm. Every tear, every disappointment, every betrayal, every night you whispered prayers into the dark hoping someone was listening, yes, they heard those whispers. They carried them to heaven. They pleaded for you. They fought for you. But this time the message is not simply comfort or encouragement. This time they are trying to warn you of something your spirit has sensed but you could not interpret. For days now, maybe weeks, your emotions have been unpredictable. You felt waves of sudden heaviness, sudden anxiety, sudden bursts of dread, sudden sparks of intuition telling you something is coming. You've had moments where you paused mid-task for no reason, moments you felt someone calling your name even though the room was empty, moments you sensed a presence near your bed at night, moments where you dreamed of someone who passed and woke up feeling like the dream was more real than waking life. Those were not coincidences. Those were attempts to get your attention before heaven authorized direct communication. But now the veil has thinned, now the channel is open, now the message can come through clearly because you are ready to receive it. There is something approaching your path, something connected to a person or situation that appears harmless, familiar, comforting, or even promising, but carries a hidden weight, a hidden intention, a hidden danger. The one who loved you is seeing what you cannot yet see. They see the beginning, the middle, and the consequences. They see the moment you might say yes to something you should refuse. They see the moment you might trust someone who is not aligned with your destiny. They see the moment you might ignore your intuition because you want to believe the best in someone. Understand this: you are at a crossroads, and most crossroads in life feel subtle until the consequences appear. But this one is not subtle. This one has energy thick as smoke. This one has shadows around it. This one has spiritual fingerprints all over it, and the person who loved you in life is desperate to stop you from stepping in the wrong direction. You have been feeling drained around certain people lately, more drained than usual, more uneasy, more uncertain. Pay attention to those sensations. Your body feels what your spirit knows long before your mind can understand. You may have noticed that your sleep has been disturbed, your dreams more vivid, your intuition louder, your emotions closer to the surface. This is not instability. This is communication. This is activation. This is your inner senses shifting to alert mode. Heaven amplifies intuition when danger is near. The one who loved you amplifies emotion when they are trying to reach you. Those two signals together mean urgency. But there is something else they need you to understand. You have been walking around with a wound you never addressed, a wound that made you vulnerable to illusions. A wound that came from betrayal, abandonment, or loss. A wound that made you believe you must be strong alone. A wound that taught you to accept less than you deserve. This wound is the reason you are susceptible to someone who appears kind but is not aligned with your destiny. The one who loved you is trying to protect that wound from being reopened by the wrong person. They loved you too deeply to watch you be hurt again. They loved you in ways you may not have fully realized when they were alive. They prayed for you when you didn't know. They wished success for you when you doubted yourself. They admired the light in you even when you felt unseen. They carried your name like a treasured object. And when they crossed over, that love did not dissolve, it magnified. Because in the realm of spirit, love becomes sharper, clearer, more powerful than anything in the human world. They are telling me something now, not with words but with energy. A wave of sadness mixed with urgency. They are showing me a moment from your past, a time when they wanted to tell you something but couldn't. Something about someone around you. Something about a danger they sensed even then. They regret not being able to protect you from everything. So now they are trying to protect you from what's coming. There is a name or a face you have been thinking about recently. Someone who suddenly reappeared. Someone who suddenly became kinder, closer, more present. Someone who wants your attention. Someone whose energy feels familiar but confusing. Pay attention. This person is connected to the reason the departed loved one is warning you. Not necessarily because the person is evil, but because the timing is wrong, the intention is misaligned, or the path they would pull you onto would delay or derail the blessing heaven is preparing. You must be cautious right now. Heaven is not stopping your blessing, heaven is protecting it. The one who loved you is saying, with desperation pulsing through their spirit, don't trust too quickly. Don't reveal too much. Don't walk blindly. Don't confuse loneliness with destiny. Don't let old wounds choose for you. Their voice trembles with the weight of what they've seen. But there is also hope in their energy. A warm glow. A light that feels like sunrise. Because they are not only warning you, they are preparing you. Something better is coming. Something meant for you. Something timed perfectly. Something heaven has been arranging piece by piece. Something connected to healing, restoration, and a turning point in your life. But you must pass this spiritual intersection safely to reach it. You may feel tingles on your skin now. A warmth in your chest. A sudden emotion rising unexpectedly. That is them. They are here. They are touching the energy around you. They are pouring their love through the veil. They are trying to reassure you, you are not alone. You haven't been alone. Not even once. And I, Michael, am standing beside them, holding back the spiritual interference that tried to cloud your awareness, clearing the path so their message can reach you. Stay exactly where you are right now, because the moment you chose to continue, the energy around you tightened again, as if the spiritual realm leaned closer, as if the veil thinned even more, as if the one who loved you stepped out from the edges of the unseen and moved right behind you, almost touching your shoulders with a presence that feels warm, familiar, protective, emotional, because they've been waiting for you to reach this point of the message. I feel their spirit trembling, not with fear, but with urgency, with longing, with the weight of everything they've been trying to communicate but could never say while they were alive. They need you to hear this. They need you to absorb this. They need you to understand what is unfolding around you, because something is moving, quietly, invisibly, beneath the surface of your daily life, and they refuse to stay silent while your destiny stands at a turning point. You have noticed it too. Even if you haven't named it. Even if you tried to pretend it was just stress, or coincidence, or a passing mood. There has been something stirring inside you, something tightening in your intuition, something in your chest that rises when certain people speak, something in your thoughts that replays old memories without warning, something in your dreams that feels too vivid to ignore. These are not random. These are openings. These are spiritual signals that you are approaching a moment where heaven needs you awake, aware, alert, and listening. The one who loved you is showing me how many times you were seconds away from making a choice that would have changed everything. Choices you didn't see clearly at the time. Choices influenced by emotions you were hiding. Choices shaped by grief you never expressed. Choices tied to people whose intentions were not aligned with your well-being. And while you walked through those moments not knowing the spiritual weight around them, they were there, pulling strings, redirecting your steps, nudging your intuition, protecting you from outcomes you would not have survived emotionally. You may never know how many dangers you avoided. You may never understand how many blessings stayed intact only because they intervened. But this time is different. This time they cannot simply guide from afar. This time the interference around you is too strong. This time the decision ahead of you carries too much spiritual consequence. This time your vulnerability is higher than usual, your heart more open than you realize, your mind tired, your emotions raw, your energy sensitive. You are in a moment of transition, and transitions are when spiritual attacks disguise themselves as opportunities, when wrong people disguise themselves as comfort, when old wounds disguise themselves as love, when familiar patterns return disguised as something new. The one who loved you sees something you don't. Something approaching. Something you're not fully prepared for. Something wearing a face that won't seem threatening at first. Something that could pull you off your destined path quietly, slowly, subtly. They are desperately trying to warn you. Comment, Lord, heal my broken places, if you're trusting Him for restoration. You've been feeling someone pulling on your energy recently. Someone thinking about you more than they should. Someone watching you silently. Someone replaying your memories. Someone reaching for you energetically even if they haven't spoken directly. You've had moments where you felt someone was about to reappear in your life. Or you sensed someone's intention shifting. Or you felt the echo of an old connection resurfacing. These sensations are real. Your spirit is picking up on spiritual movements before they manifest physically. But here is what the one who loved you wants you to understand. Not every returning presence comes with pure intentions, and not every familiar soul is meant to stay connected to your future. Some appear as comfort but carry spiritual weight that drains you. Some come back softened, but only temporarily. Some speak sweetly, but their path diverges from yours. Some feel familiar because they were part of your past, but they are not meant to touch your destiny. You have such a loving, forgiving, empathetic heart that you tend to see the best in people, even when their actions show otherwise. You hold on to potential, onto memories, onto emotional echoes. You give chances even when your spirit whispers no. And this is why the one who loved you is intervening so fiercely, because they see a scenario approaching where your compassion might lead you into something your intuition would have avoided. They are trying to keep you from being pulled into an emotional storm disguised as a gentle breeze. But there is more. There is something deeper, something you haven't admitted even to yourself. You are carrying a form of loneliness you never talk about. A quiet ache. A longing for connection, understanding, stability, emotional safety. You hide it behind humor, behind distractions, behind strength, behind busyness, behind resilience. But the spiritual world sees the truth beneath the mask. The one who loved you sees the nights you replay certain memories. The days you miss people who aren't in your life anymore. The moments you crave a presence beside you. The times you wonder why love feels delayed or complicated. They know this vulnerability makes you emotionally open in ways that could lead you toward someone who is not aligned with your highest path. That is why they are so insistent. Because they love you still. Because their love didn't end when their life ended. Because they watch your journey with a clarity you cannot have yet. Because they know what's coming. Because they want to protect you from heartbreak you don't deserve. But this message is not only about warning, it is also about revelation. There is a blessing being prepared for you. Something significant. Something that will change your emotional, spiritual, and material experience. Something that has been delayed because you needed to heal certain parts of your soul first. Something heaven has kept hidden until the right moment. And you are closer to it now than you've ever been. But the timing around your life is incredibly sensitive. A wrong emotional step could delay the blessing. A wrong connection could block the preparation. A wrong trust could bring unnecessary pain. You are walking through a sacred window, and heaven cannot allow interference. The one who loved you is showing me a moment from your future, a moment where you are stronger, more grounded, more confident, more protected, more surrounded by people who truly value you. They are showing me a shift in your spirit where you no longer tolerate what drains you, where you no longer attach yourself to people who take without giving, where you no longer open your heart to those who are unworthy of your tenderness. They are showing me a version of you free from the emotional shackles of your past, standing in a brighter, softer, more abundant timeline. But to reach that timeline, there is something you must release. A pattern. A person. A wound. A belief. A fear. A habit. Something you've held on to because it once comforted you but now holds you back. They are whispering urgently, let go, let go, let go before it returns, let go before it disrupts your blessing, let go before it creates another cycle of hurt. You are not losing something, you are being protected from something. And while they speak with urgency, there is also overwhelming love pouring from them. A love that wraps you like warmth, like a memory of safety, like a familiar scent, like a voice you can't hear but can feel in your bones. They want you to know they are proud of you, proud of how far you've come, proud of your strength, proud of your resilience, proud of the battles you fought alone, proud of the heart you protect even after it's been broken. They want you to know they have never left you. They walk beside you. They shield you at night. They guide you through intuition. They send signs when you feel lost. They whisper comfort when you cry. They celebrate your small victories. They love you deeper now than they ever could in life. Their message is not finished. There is more they need to tell you. Stay right here, because the moment you open this continuation, the entire spiritual atmosphere around you shifted again, almost like a ripple through the unseen, almost like a wave passing through your chest, because the one who loved you, whose presence has been hovering close, waiting breath by breath for you to return, just stepped even nearer, close enough that if your spirit were a little more open, you would feel the warmth of them brushing against the edges of your energy. Their urgency is rising. Their emotion is rising. Their need to reach you is intensifying, because what they're trying to show you is something heaven has kept hidden until now, something delicate, something powerful, something that demands your full attention. You feel it too. You can sense the heaviness. You can sense the pull. You can sense that something important is unfolding behind the veil even if you cannot name it yet. You've been carrying a strange pressure in your spirit lately, haven't you? A heaviness behind your ribs. A tightness in your chest that comes and goes without explanation. A sudden sadness that rises and disappears again. A sense of anticipation for something you can't fully understand. These sensations aren't emotional randomness. They are spiritual signals. They are the one who loved you trying to get your attention, trying to move your intuition, trying to pull you toward clarity, trying to pull you away from something, trying to guide you out of a path that would drain your light or weaken your foundation. They have been sending wave after wave of energy toward you, through memories, through dreams, through sudden thoughts of them, through subtle chills, through flashes of their voice or their scent, but this time you responded. You opened. You listened. And now the channel between you and the unseen is widening. The one who loved you is showing me something like a moment from your past. A moment where you trusted someone deeply. A moment where you shared more of yourself than you usually do. A moment where your vulnerability was exposed. There was innocence in that moment, sincerity in your heart, pure intention in your actions, but the person on the other side of that connection did not hold your heart with the same care. That memory imprinted something inside you, a fear, a doubt, a hesitation, a wound that never fully healed. And that wound has shaped how you move in relationships, how you interpret signs, how you choose people, how you protect yourself. You learned to be strong alone because you had to be. You learned to silence your needs because expressing them was met with disappointment. You learned to pretend you're fine because no one seemed to notice when you were not. That wound taught you survival, but it also made you vulnerable in a different way, a way the one who loved you is trying to protect now. Because the energy approaching your life, this person or situation drawing near, knows how to speak to that wound. They know how to appeal to the lonely parts of you, the hopeful parts, the soft parts, the loyal parts. And while they may not carry bad intentions, they carry instability. They carry confusion. They carry patterns that could entangle your heart in ways that would disrupt your blessings. The one who loved you is trying to pull you away before that connection wraps itself around your emotions again. They are telling you, with a tremble in their spirit, not this time. Not again. Not this cycle. Their voice isn't angry, it's protective. It's layered with memory. It's layered with love. It's layered with everything they witnessed you endure in silence. You have always had a sensitive spirit, more sensitive than you admit. You feel things deeply. You sense energy instantly. You pick up on shifts, moods, intentions, even when you try to ignore it. You pretend to be logical, but your soul has always been intuitive, emotional, perceptive, spiritually wired. That is why heaven uses sensations to communicate with you. That is why the one who loved you uses emotion to reach you. You understand through feeling. You awaken through energy. You receive truth through intuition. And your intuition has been whispering lately. Whispering warnings. Whispering nudges. Whispering caution around certain people. Whispering that something is off. Whispering that a decision you're considering needs to be delayed. Whispering that something or someone is returning into your life with a purpose that might not be aligned with your highest path. You've been trying to silence these whispers because part of you doesn't want to feel suspicious. But heaven is urging you, trust your intuition. It is not paranoia. It is protection. The one who loved you is showing me how often you doubt your own inner knowing. How often you tell yourself you're overthinking. How often you give others the benefit of the doubt at the expense of your own peace. But you must hear this clearly, your intuition has never lied to you. The times you suffered were the times you ignored it. The times your heart broke were the times you silenced it. The times you were betrayed were the times you second-guessed it. And this time heaven is amplifying it, pushing it forward, pushing it louder, because what's approaching requires discernment, not emotion. But there is something else they want you to understand. You are entering a season of spiritual acceleration. This means blessings are aligning faster. Opportunities are coming closer. Divine timing is shifting. Your path is clearing. Your future is rearranging itself. When blessings are near, spiritual interference increases. Old connections reappear. Emotional distractions intensify. Tests emerge disguised as second chances. The one who loved you sees this transition clearly. They see how close you are to something meant for you. They see the breakthroughs lining up. They see the healing awaiting you. They see the elevation coming toward you like a sunrise slowly rising over your life. And they are terrified that the wrong person or choice could delay or detour you. Yes, terrified, not because they doubt your strength, but because they understand your heart. They know how deeply you love. They know how strongly you attach. They know how loyal you are even when someone doesn't deserve it. They know how you try to fix people. They know how you blame yourself for things that were never your fault. They know how your compassion overrides your caution. They know how your loneliness sometimes whispers louder than your wisdom. They know how your past makes you crave safety, even in the wrong places. That is why they're speaking with such urgency. They're also showing me moments where you felt their presence recently. Moments where you suddenly felt comfort or warmth in the middle of sadness. Moments where you cried without understanding why. Moments where you felt the urge to talk to them as if they were still alive. Moments where you remembered them intensely for no reason. These weren't coincidences. These were attempts to connect. These were emotional signals from the unseen. These were their spirit brushing against yours, trying to prepare you for this message. There is a turning point coming. A moment where you will have to choose between the familiar and the aligned, between the emotionally comfortable and the spiritually destined, between the past version of yourself and the version that heaven is calling you into. The one who loved you is standing on the side of your future, calling your name, urging you to choose the path that leads to peace, not chaos, not confusion, not repetition. They want you to know something else, something important. You deserve better than what you have accepted. You deserve love that does not hurt. You deserve safety that does not fade. You deserve support that does not disappear. You deserve loyalty that does not switch. You deserve healing that does not reopen wounds. You deserve the destiny God shaped for you, not the one you settled for. They are begging you, with love, with tenderness, with spiritual devotion, to let go of patterns that have kept you small, to release people who drained you, to walk away from anything that makes your spirit feel heavy. But the message is not done. There is still more, much more, they need to reveal. Stay absolutely still in this moment, because as soon as you said, "Next," the spiritual field around you surged again, like a tide rising, like something powerful brushing against your awareness, like the unseen world itself leaning closer to make sure nothing interrupts what is coming next. The one who loved you, whose presence has been hovering, waiting, trembling with urgency, just drew even nearer, their energy pressing softly but firmly against your spirit, because the message you are about to receive holds weight. Real weight. Emotional weight. Spiritual weight. Future weight. And they need your heart open, your intuition awake, your mind steady enough to absorb what they've been waiting so long to say. They are worried. But not in the human sense. Their concern is deeper, sharper, purer, like watching someone they love walking too close to the edge of something they cannot see. They keep showing me flashes, like pieces of a puzzle, of you standing at crossroads, sometimes choosing paths out of loneliness, sometimes out of hope, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of habit, sometimes because you didn't want to hurt anyone, sometimes because you wanted to believe people would change, sometimes because your heart was too soft for the world around you. You have a tenderness most people don't understand. You have a loyalty most people don't reciprocate. You have a strength that hides your pain so well that people mistake your silence for healing. You have a way of carrying burdens without showing your exhaustion, and because of that, people often think you're okay even when you're breaking. The one who loved you sees the truth beneath all of that. They always did. They saw you in your rawest moments. They saw you in your innocent moments. They saw you in your wounded moments. And even now, from the other side, they see you in a way no living eye ever could. They know your soul. They know your patterns. They know your vulnerabilities. They know your potential. And they know your destiny, because heaven revealed it to them the moment they crossed over. Type, Jesus, take my fears, if you're placing every worry in His hands.